Life Conversations Radio. Be the change you want to see.
You are listening to Life Conversations with Life Coach Ade on lifeconversationsradio.com.
There's a quote from A Course in Miracles that says, every decision you make stems from what you think you are and represents the value that you put upon yourself. Believe the little can content you, and by limiting yourself, you will not be satisfied. For your function is not little, and it is only by finding your function and fulfilling it that you can escape from the littleness. For your function is not little, and I can go as far as saying function, your purpose, your reason for being, your essence, your life force. For your function is not little. It is only by finding your function, your purpose, your passion, your true self, your true identity, and fulfilling it that you can escape from littleness. We've got to remember, we've got to allow for the space to release the inner greatness and stop playing small and stop saying there's something little about us. There's nothing little about us. If we think about the process through which we're here today, the process of birth, that's not little. And we started from a cell, something that could not be seen with the physical eyes. And then all that developing happened in our mother's womb without my conscious effort. So there's nothing little about us. Yes, truly. Once we're on this side of town, on earth, the ones that are before us, and our parents, our teachers, our culture, our tradition, they want us to believe that, you know it, you're a mistake, something's wrong with you. You need to find your way back to love because you are not lovable. But we heard it so much through so many experiences that we believed it. And then we end up franchising those people. We end up franchising our parents. If they criticize us, we end up franchising that business of criticism. We end up criticizing ourselves. That's what I mean by franchising them. The things that we do to ourselves when we're adults, when we really sit and think about it, is what was done to us when we were younger, when we were a child, that we did not like. From an experience that happened, we end up doing it to ourselves. So it's time to close that business of criticism, of not good enough, or not amounting to something, or being the black sheep, or whatever, the crazy one, the weird one. I'm going to go there. I'm going to go there. But my father calls me the coconut, interestingly enough. And my younger sister, she calls me, well, I guess if I translate it, it will mean the white one, the Caucasian. And it's kind of interesting because I remember when I was younger, well, I don't know, maybe 50, well, yeah, 10, 15 years ago, yeah, younger, it used to bother me. Because when I'm communicating with them or trying to share something from a different perspective, my sister in Nigeria was the Oluyinbo, which means the English one. Yeah, the English one sounds better. The English one. And I'm like, gosh. And it's not coming from a place of affirmation. I'm not judging her. I'm sharing my experience. It wasn't coming from a place of affirmation. It was like, yeah, there you go, you know, you're bougie, you're this, you're that. And we do that to our family members because either what they're saying to us is so real that we don't want to hear it, that we've got to put it down, or because we can't understand it, we still put it down. But I remember that I used to be upset by that. But I've gone through my process now where, yeah, call me whatever. I know who I am because I know who I am. I am that I am. So when my father calls me coconut, I can laugh at it. And the joke is one of the things that came to me not long ago. Because, I don't... Let me see how to put this. I'm not trying to be careful, I'm just trying to be clear. To see, not careful, but clear. Okay, let me put it this way. I'm not going to compare. I think differently from the place that is called my origin. I think differently from most Nigerians. It's a big statement. You can do whatever you will with that, but I'm making a point. And I really believe that each culture has something to offer the others. And our culture sometimes has a way of putting us in some invisible box, some mental construct on what we must think and what we must say. I don't necessarily think like I think being a Nigerian I'm supposed to think like. Does that make sense? Because I guess it's more so a general belief. Because it's those of us, and it doesn't matter if you're born in Nigeria, if you're born in America, in England, or wherever, in Italy or Germany, every culture has its own agreement. They have their own agreement of what we must do, what we must say, what we shouldn't say, how we talk to our elders, how we don't talk to our elders, what we should do with children or not do with children. Every culture has that. For me, I feel like I have, well, yes, that's what it is. Thank you, Spirit. I have a universal perspective to life. I have a universal way of thinking. That's it. I love that. Woo. Let me let that sit with me for a minute. I love that. I got through it. You've been listening to Life Conversations with Life Coach as I process myself here, recognizing and remembering and affirming my self-worth. Yes. You can listen to the show in the archive, and if you're listening to the archive, thank you for listening, taking the time out, and coming back and downloading it and sharing it, whatever you're doing with it. And I trust that you're taking what you're hearing to make a difference in your life. So, back to this universal thinking Nigerian, born in England, living in America concept. I found peace. I have found peace in who I am. Because that's who I am. Well, I'm more than that. But that's part of who I am. That's how I'm expressing. Because God is the universal principle. So why limit myself? And when we put labels on ourselves, when we say we're black, we're white, we're gay, we're heterosexual, we're homosexual, we're bisexual, we limit our experience of life. And then we can get so caught up in it that we're fighting for society to see our worth. We're fighting for society to recognize us. We're fighting just to say, I am worthy. But if I know who I am, if I'm clear about my self-worth, if I'm clear about my own value, then I don't have to go fighting anybody. I don't have to go and fight anyone. I don't have to make you believe what I want you to believe. There's freedom when we free ourselves in thinking and believing and knowing that we are worthy. Well, okay, so there are books, there are holy books, sacred books that says, well, we're not worthy or all kinds of stuff. I'm not even going to go into that. Well, you know that. We read articles, we read things, just different cultures talking about we're not worthy and we were kicked out of heaven or we're born out of sin, whatever. Please stop it. What I believe is in those books, those articles, it's an expression of the consciousness or collective consciousness of the culture, the consciousness of the writer. So I don't have to make the consciousness of somebody else be mine. And I say the same thing about this radio show. What I'm sharing is what I believe to be true for me, what I know so far, what I'm aware of, what I'm conscious of. But I'm not saying it has to be your truth. What I am standing for, my intention is what I'm sharing, what I'm downloading. I'm trusting that it would inspire you to get in touch with what is real for you, what is true for you. Because at the end of the day, that's all it's about. We all have the truth within us. We're all worthy. We don't need anybody to tell us. We don't need commercial to tell you you need to look young, or you need to look old, or you need to do this or that. You decide how much you're worth. You decide.